What is happening, traders? God bless each and every single one of you guys. Hope you're having a stand-up freaking day. We're going to be covering stock ticker AMC, baby, as well as GME and the broader market. So make sure to punch the freaking subscribe button for my man Gary here, Gary the Goose, making his return once again. So looking at AMC on the technical time frame, we are the best freaking analysis channel on this freaking stock, guys. We've nailed every single move, or most of them, right? Very humbly so. We've missed a few, but a lot of the bottoms we've ticked to the exact penny. And now we're looking at a potential cup and handle formation here. I know we have a couple different people worrying about a potential double top here, and the reaction will be telling all here, guys. If you continue to kind of see a high volume fizzle out here, very, very possible that this becomes that double top formation. But based off of what you've seen so far, guys, I don't believe that's the case. Even though you've lost the daily RSI band here on the bottom of your screen, this yellow band, typically when we lose it, you begin a consolidative phase, right? Looking at where you topped out previously, you lost it, and you went through a pretty long, what is that, about 25-day consolidation phase. You lost it very, very briefly here. And this is, in my opinion, where we are today. After this slightly higher high, you lost it very shortly here and then saw that consolidated phase, right, of about 5 days before you rocketed further. You also saw it from that first run up here. You lost it on April 21st of 2026, and then you consolidated for a further 24 days, right? So regardless of how the consolidation looks, I do believe you're in the midst of a consolidation phase here after losing your previous uptrend. That was a very, very important part of this kind of stair-stepping process. But as long traders, as long as you hold above these two things, you look absolutely fuego, like literal fire. First thing is, right, we zoom all the way out here. You can see on AMC's chart from the macro time frame, traders, this is the most exciting thing we've seen in a very, very long time. This macro downtrend, your all-time freaking piece de resistance, has been broken, and it's been broken with that amazing revenue, not world record, but company breaking record announcement. And what a better time to find consolidation on 3 back-to-back low volume days, guys. So you're seeing that very accumulative, right, cup, and then consolidation on low volume, not only in a wedge-like structure, but on top of your freaking previous resistance, making it new support, is exactly what you want to see, traders. So I am not worried in the least bit, right? You break this downsloping volume channel or exhaustion trend, and you could see this thing make absolute boom boom candles. But I have to address the freaking elephant in the room. If you see a more prolonged consolidation phase, maybe something that breaks back into this resistance channel, right? Maybe double bottom near that uptrend and then begin to go, right? Something that's a little bit more in line with the previous two runs, that 25 days before you broke, 28 days, and then pretty much 27 days before you broke. So if you see something that's more in line with that, right, from the top, that leads you almost directly to where we just kind of drew that thing up. Let's say end of August, you could expect to see this thing go absolutely bananas on the freaking daily time frame. As you get into the pinnacle, guys, the absolute tightest spot of what is our very, very structurally important uptrend here, this thing has been the bee's knees, man, absolutely launching you hundreds of percent, right? This first one was 100% almost to a T. Second one was a little bit more, 138%. And this third one is somewhere between 80%. If you tap that again, guys, I expect until it is broken, the trend is your friend, right? And if you see that fourth touch along this uptrend launch you, I would not be surprised to see this thing begin to get squeezy, right? Because if this is a true cup and handle, right, depending on how far this goes, your technical profit target is the previous leg, and the previous leg put on top of the handle right now, traders, if you saw this thing absolutely go bananas, brings you upwards to 480 to $5. And we know, traders, that once you get above this threshold, in my opinion, right, not financial advice, about that 405 to 408, this top right here, I think it's 401 actually. Let me see. No, it's 408 exactly, guys. Once you get above this threshold on AMC stock, it is going to be very hard to hold you back from just pretty much gapping above all of 4 into 5, in my opinion, right? Because of this downslide right here, just as fast as volume and price move down is as fast as it can move up, guys. And if you see that move from this cup and handle above 318, maybe a retest, you can see an ungodly launch, in my opinion. Not just based off of the technical analysis here, but also, traders, the fundamentals have been improving in a macro manner to the likes that we have not seen in a very long time, if ever, right? So some very encouraging stuff on AMC here. I did want to cover on Webull as well, right? We know we lost that uptrend, but what is the theoretical bear case for AMC? Quotations, right? We know that we've seen the last 1, 2, 3, 4 days of decreasing volume. In my eyes, it's extremely bullish, but let's say you continue to lose the 9-day EMA here, you close below, and you fail to hold 254. Well, traders, in my eyes, that takes you directly back into your golden cross retest, which is still bullish, right? So in my eyes, regardless of what you do here, you remain bullish in almost every single facet, right? If you retest the 50-day daily EMA, currently sitting right around 220 or 218, a launch off of that becomes significantly bullish. Say it with me, guys. Significantly bullish if you launch off this 50-day EMA. Furthermore, traders, looking at the weekly time frame, you've seen the first cross of this 9 weekly EMA through the 50 since 2021, guys, and the bullish crosses and the bullish signals in the markets for AMC right now continue to reflect that of 2021, right? Our last risk on asset market. The weekly candle not looking so hot though, even though you've seen low volume here. You of course want to see this thing wick off of 260 where you currently land and currently lie in order to see a strong week continue here, right? So theoretically, let's say you wick up and you close near the highs the last candle, right? What was the last candle close? 282. Let's say you see that week going into Friday, or that wick going into Friday on the 4-hour chart. You then break out of your macro cup and handle, and that would send you flying, in my opinion, right? Bam. Bam. So we'll draw that up. We'll see how that plays out as the week goes on. I'm excited though. I genuinely do think the best is yet to come on AMC. Regardless if the bounce happens now or it takes that prolonged period of time, 25 days, 28 days, whatever it is, the strength that you're showing holding above this resistance and flipping it as support, insanely bullish. And I think if we go to the shorter time frames too, you can kind of see it, right? We had drawn up something that's funny enough, exactly what you're seeing. So I thought that was really hilarious on this local time frames. But on the 1-hour chart, you're actually putting in a touch of hidden bullish divergence, guys. That is a lower low on the stock RSI, but a higher low on the stock overall. That bodes short-term bullish if you're thinking about this more local cup and handle formation, right? If this thing is going to find a bounce from this hidden bullish divergence, then you have the signs that it may occur, and you're already holding above your previous local high, which is also bullish in the short-term time frame. So I remain to say bullish, 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 until you flip below 260 and close below 250. Higher, in my opinion, right? So that's kind of our short-term technical analysis on AMC. You guys know the freaking monthly time frame, the quarterly time frame looks freaking fantastic. We'll just review it one more time for you guys. And this is something I talked about in my live stream last night, that even though you've seen 3 months in a row of higher volume and 4 straight green closes, traders, from the bottom, you are officially up right around 215 to 17%. That is absolutely cracked, right? And not only that, on the monthly time frame, right? Let's get rid of 318 for just a second. You are holding above and retesting your previous all-time low uptrend, guys. Bullish, right? Freaking bullish on the macro time frame, seeing that this is closing 1, 2, 3, 4 green months in a row. One consolidative doji, right? Let's say August ends as a nothing burger. You wake back up and you close around 280, but you show strength where it is needed, apes. That unlocks the bull gates, in my opinion, for you to continue higher after seeing consolidation in a significantly higher zone. It also allows your RSI on the weekly time frame and on the daily time frame to reset a little bit, right? Go back to the 50 line, control and confirm your bullish trend, and then seek higher prices, apes. So the fact that you're seeing AMC consolidate right now, I'm not really too worried about it. And in fact, I just want to see the bullish consolidation and the volume calm down where you're currently located. So that is our monthly time frame look on AMC. The quarterly time frame, guys, is absolutely fucking phenomenal, right? It's juicy. It really is freaking juicy. As you can see, this quarterly RSI band has not been crossed since 2021. Well, it was crossed in 2022 to the downside, right? Whoops, let's go back. To the downside, you crossed it. So looking at our macro look here, right? This volume is at, why are these volume bars so freaking big? That's crazy. It is what it is. We just got some boomies on the volume candlesticks. You could see how close that RSI band is to crossing. Look at the last time you crossed it. You saw a 381% month, in line with our quarterly MACD cross thesis, right? We said that as soon as you saw that quarterly MACD cross and flip, right, on the quarterly time frame for AMC, what you've officially gotten on Webull and TradingView, absolutely huge, right? We were kind of expecting this to occur all the way back in, what was it, June of last year. It was beginning to show signs, right? You could see the bearish momentum slowing. And even as the volume ramped up here, you saw strength from AMC. You saw bullish divergence. Well, now you've not just seen record revenues, you've not just seen a breakout of this falling wedge, but you've seen the more macro crosses that we've been speaking into existence for the last year or so. That is going to come with insane volume. As you guys can see from the last quarter, a bullish engulfing and 100% quarter on AMC, in my eyes, launches you into your previous all-time low at $10. I know that's probably a controversial thing to say, but I don't think it's too much of a hot topic given the structure of this macro freaking breakout. And when you look at the RSI band closely on AMC, I got to get rid of that volume for a second. That is too distracting. Well, bam. Okay. When you look at the quarterly RSI band, look at when you cross down on this bad boy. It's when you broke down from this 45% bull pennant and then sent this thing into oblivion, right? Look when you crossed up. 381%, 455%. So you are establishing yourself in a bullish trend above that RSI band on the quarterly time frame as you seek a breakout and confirmation above your previous all-time low uptrend. I don't know who I gotta tell, but there are going to be silly gooses out there that think that this chart is bearish, and I'm sorry to break it to you, but it is not, guys. It is absolutely not. And I think more than a squeeze play here, you're looking at a little bit more of a fundamental squeeze play, right? Something that is less focused on the short interest, although I do believe that there is crime on freaking Wall Street. I think what you're looking at from a fundamental play is AMC going bankrupt? No, right? Record EBITDA, record revenue, and a breakout on the macro falling wedge. So that's what we got for AMC, guys. As you can see, AMC trading exactly at 260. So you could see this thing dip a little bit lower into that 255 territory before seeing a phenomenal bounce, in my opinion. And I am here for it every step of the way. One last touch for you guys on AMC. If you see that prolonged period of consolidation, it's coming off of this multiple touches of bearish divergence, right? Bearish divergence touch. One happened in this twin peak, 2, 3, and then fourth one, right? A slightly higher high, but a lower low or lower high on the RSI on the daily time frame is typically very bearish, right? So if that plays out, you could expect to see AMC potentially break down from this, maybe try to trade alongside flat on this resistance until you hit the uptrend and then flip. Very possible, right? Very, very possible. So you guys should be prepared for anything. I'm not a financial advisor. I do not give financial advice, but I am freaking jacked on this stock. So that's our coverage on AMC. Hope you guys are freaking loving it so far. Slap the subscribe button and do it for Gary as well. Let's look at GME, because GME has been a hot mess express. But I will say, on the daily time frame, the candle formations have been freaking beautiful, right? We mentioned somewhere anything in these teens for GME is a phenomenal freaking purchase, in my opinion, right? You're seeing back-to-back bullish candlesticks in the last 3 days. You saw a bullish hammer candle, and you're now doing the exact same thing. Closing above $19 on the day would be significantly bullish in GME's history, or GME's price, right? Above 19 shows strength. It shows strength. So not only in the daily time frame are you getting that, but also on the 4-hour chart, you're getting that hammer candle and a cross up on the MACD. So there may be a little bit of relief rally here for GameStop holders, right? You're just now breaking above this previous downtrend, and that should at least take you into this 1960 zone on GameStop, which looks pretty nice, actually. On the weekly time frame, we mentioned that the weekly candle is going to determine a lot, traders, based off of what is not just this debt equity raising for GameStop, covering some of its debt and assets, right? I believe it was, what was it? 1.5 billion or so of debt that will be determined on the average VWAP over a 35-day period, right? So what is that? Volume weighted average price over the last 35 days. If you did it right now, the VWAP would be right around, I think it was 22. Well, it was 22. Right now it's about $19. So depending on how low the VWAP is going to be how many shares end up getting diluted into GameStop's price. And what you're seeing is a little bit of market hesitancy based off of that news, right? Even though the dilution has not officially happened, I don't believe, right? Because that's still getting priced in. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Again, if I'm wrong, if the dilution has happened, please let me know in the comments below. I'm very interested on GameStop, right? Because you had that macro bull pennant that's broken down, and now you are seriously just holding a very important horizontal resistance that was previous resistance, right? During this deep low double bottom, right? This neckline of sorts, and this very clear, obvious support on the monthly time frame, guys. So this is macro charts. You can see every single candle wick below closed above this $18 territory. So it is a significant area for GME. And then every single, once you lost it, every single wick closed below until you broke it in this freaking crazy manner, right? 108%. Retesting it and then sending. Hopefully the same thing here, as you now have a monthly freaking volume gap, guys. The only one of its history on GME, a monthly volume or gap in the chart that is currently trading at 2113. So there's a very real bull case thesis for here on GME, that you find support where it has always found support, right? And if you lose this support, where does it go, right? That is a conversation that not a lot of people are going to want to hear, but if there is the potential for GME to potentially come down to this 200-day EMA on the monthly time frame that has done every single big consolidation before a run, right? This was the major falling wedge. Get rid of that for a second. Bam. Right. Bam. So you had your falling wedge. You've consolidated all the way to the end in this thing, actually losing the 200 and then knifing back above it. I think a test of it here would be significant on the monthly time frame and a phenomenal opportunity on GME. But I do think you're going to fill that gap at some point. It's just when, right? $21 gap fill for GME looks absolutely phenomenal. Above that, right? Above that, covered that. 4-hour chart looks decent. Daily chart looks good. See if we can find anything else on GameStop. Let's see. So that is a previous support trend that you've lost, retested, and failed to regain. So that's actually very interesting for GameStop, right? This close and this close from February to March, and then you've lost it on this knife down, retested it, and then hammer candled outside of it. So it'll be interesting here, especially given the volume, right? This is just pretty much improv TA right now. But given the volume here on GameStop, you're seeing a downtrend on the volume in a very key area. That's typically not too good, right? You want to see this thing impulse back up. But if you see this volume trend break and you get back above this previous support, there's a very real opportunity for GameStop to a minimum get back to the uptrend that you've previously held as support at 2067 traders. That's going to be very important alongside the test of the 9-day EMA sitting at 2018. So I expect you break out at some point soon as long as the volume comes with it. And I think that's what we got for GameStop today, guys. We can cover the GME warrants for my man only in paradise. But as always, traders, if you've made it this far, slap the freaking like button, hit the subscribe button because nobody's doing it like we're doing it as frequently as we're doing it. But I know for a lot of you guys, the GME warrants is a little bit of a gamble, right? A little bit of a gamble. Now you've continued to see volume decrease in the last 3 days, much like everything else, right? I think that's an indice thing right now. But on the shorter time frame, you broke out of that falling wedge, you retested it, and now you're just trading flat with a lot of the indecision from GameStop. I think once you see GameStop pick a direction, right? Whether or not GME breaks back above its previous resistance, you can see the GME warrants have the exact same thing. So there's a serious opportunity here based off of what Ryan Cohen does, I think, on the macro. But in terms of downside risk here, of course, this thing can go to zero. So like, do not act or do anything on what I say. But this was a technical shoulder, head, right shoulder on the GME warrants. What had happened, right? You lost the uptrend and you played out the full freaking target, right? About 190. You saw a little bit more of capitulation right around 152 when GameStop also capitulated. But I think, in my opinion, right, not financial advice, the worst of the worst may be over here if there's further clarity with the eBay deal. And that's a big if, right? You need to see something happen with GameStop first, and then this may gamble and pay off for the future. But as always, traders, we're going to end with our recap on IWM. We're going to give Gary the Goose a little punch out of the way because we got a lock in here. You're seeing multiple days close in a row, traders, on lower volume while you break out, right? And we've seen it back to back times, right? We mentioned it back here during this March-April breakout, and it didn't seem to matter. It really did not seem to matter on IWM. So you've made a new all-time high. We were calling for it, and I think that the pressure is going to continue for a lot of the indices to go up. I am watching the volume. I am watching the gap fill at 296, right? It's very likely, in my opinion, granted that the 9-day EMA is currently trading exactly at the same spot, and the daily formation of a shooting star candlestick formation. In my opinion, this is showing that the indice IWM, right, that meme stock basket, is going to have a critical retest of this 296.66 area before finding a higher low, in my opinion, and continuing its freaking run off of this all the way up, right? All the way up to your resistance, 8% higher at 317, guys. Insane moves. I'm nothing but bullish on this freaking thing because the trend is your friend. You've held the 50-day EMA every step of the way, and that was our invalidation point. You dipped below it, you regained it, and you broke out, traders. It's bullish textbook bear trap, in my opinion. So I will see you guys at the top. As always, guys, God bless you and your families. And remember, traders, the best is yet to come. 2021 looks reminiscent to now, and I'm excited for you all to make some money. Peace.